May I come in?
Please.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
You are electrical engineer.
Yes, sir.
Passed out in 2019.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing after that?
Sir, I worked in Goldman Sachs for around 15 months. It's a financial sector company. And since then, I've been preparing for UPSC since 2020 September.
Why do you want to join civil services?
Sir, actually, initially the hustle was to gain a bit of financial stability. But once I got into the service, Goldman Sachs, then I realized that eventually money stopped being the differentiator. So I started thinking what my career should look like. There, civil services actually gave me the opportunity to contribute positively to the system of which I'm already a part, and also to make impact at the grassroots levels. So I finally decided to come to this side.
Any fallback option?
Sir, no, currently
You want to just concentrate on civil services? No
Yes,
fallback option?
No, sir, not yet.
No, not
sir.
yet, or it's
Sir,
do and die?
Sir, I have 6 attempts, so till the 6th attempt, I won't think of anything else.
Okay.
Although, hopefully, with God's grace, I should be able to get it.
Okay. Why such a fascination for the civil services?
Sir, I would say
3
that
reasons. Do or die situation. कि अब नहीं तो कुछ नहीं करेंगे ही करेंगे, क्या कारण? Why so?
Sir, as the 2 reasons were there, so to make an impact and also to try to contribute to the system positively. Thirdly, I would say that it's also a matter of determination because, as you mentioned, like the do or die kind of situation. So I think I am a bit of personality-wise goal-focused person. So that is the third contributor.
Your focus is civil services.
Yes.
And you want to achieve that.
Yes, sir.
Why that goal? I want to understand. 2 reasons as to why that goal.
Sir, actually, one of the main contributors here was my bit of stint in volunteering. So I actually was a part of Anna Kshetra program of something called the 𝐒𝐢𝐽𝐫 Forum. So there I worked for around 3 or 4 months during my initial days in Bangalore. So that made me realize that just by contributing maybe monetarily or making a bit of effort by feeding, etc., is not enough to make an impact on the lives of those children. So that was my primary motivation why I decided to shift to get into the grassroots level based things.
You say that by joining the civil services, you will be able to make that difference.
Yes.
Why in 75 years that difference has not been made till now?
Sir, I would say that a lot of difference has been made because if we look at the basic parameters like hunger, poverty, etc., that have improved a lot in the past 75 years. There are a bit of challenges remaining, and hopefully, given the direction that the government is currently taking, we would be able to solve them by 2047.
3 major challenges which are still there.
Sir, one of the challenges is poverty. So, and that has also been linked to hunger. So that would be the first challenge. Secondly, I would say unemployment and the lack of skilling among the population. And thirdly, I would say that we also need a bit of reforms on the administrative side and a bit more of technological angle towards the administration.
You have been, say, working in Goldman Sachs.
Yes, sir.
What 2 learnings you can apply in the government to improve its working?
So, firstly, on the scaling and technical part, so I was working with artificial intelligence there, and I think the mathematical modeling concepts can be applied in this field also to improve the efficacy as well as to give better data-driven governance, which is also the focus here. And secondly, I would say that coming from that culture, I think we can try to learn a bit from the corporate culture by increasing a bit of informalization and also informal meetings, etc. That could help in better confidence building. That's what I've seen in the private sector. I think these are the 2 learnings.
Do we have only one grid now in the nation? It is one nation, one grid, or it is one nation or one grid, many nations? What do we have in India?
So the last I read, the 5 grids had been integrated, and now we have one nation, one grid.
One grid.
Yes, sir.
Then what is the problem of having one grid?
Sir, the problems could be like that we need longer lines, etc. So that would lead to a bit more of losses on the AT&C front. However, mostly I see that it is a good move. So there can be a few glitches, but overall I see it as a good move.
Is there any other nation also which is part of the grid?
Sir, we are buying power from Nepal and...
You're buying power.
Yes, sir.
I'm saying, my question is straight. Is there any other nation, Bangladesh or Bhutan or Nepal, they are part of our grid?
Sir, I'm not exactly sure. I know that we are buying power and also selling it to Bangladesh as well, but I'm not exactly sure.
Not sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Aditya.
Yes, sir.
Stands for sun.
Yes, sir.
When you look at sun, what is the most inspirational aspect you feel when you look at sun?
Sir, the most inspirational thing I would say is that it is the guiding light for all the people on earth, because all of the energy comes from there, and also it gives the ujala, as we call it in Hindi, in our lives. So,
Dr. Kalam has very important quote that we want to shine like sun, burn like sun. Do you remember? No issue. Sun is based on nuclear energy, and Aditya is also coincidentally power engineer he is. But he is power engineer and of course wants some more power to make difference. Already you are power engineer, but want some more power to make difference in the life of people. Fine. So I would say nuclear energy, prospect of nuclear energy, you worked with Goldman and Sachs. So economic viability of nuclear energy. Which nuclear plant of India is economically viable according to you?
sir, I'm not sure of which nuclear plant is economically viable.
What is the criteria of economic viability of nuclear power plant per unit capacity? What should be the minimum capacity to make it economically viable?
Sorry, sir, I'll have to read
What
a
is
bit
the capacity of that Bulandshahr Naroda atomic power plant?
Sorry, sir, I'll have to read a bit about that.
Okay. Are you aware of Kudankulam plant?
Yes, sir.
What is the special aspect of Kudankulam plant that it is referred as safe plant?
So it was built with Russian technology. That's what I'm able to recall. Why it's called safe? Sorry, I'll have to read.
Of course, you have that much of trust in Russian that as soon as it is Russian technology, so it is safe. But I won't agree. It has to be safe from technical point of view. You go through it. You are a promising candidate because you already had 2,50,000 of salary. You would be losing around 2 lakh per month. But yes, you would like to make difference. When you honorable chairperson you have been speaking to, I noticed that you want to make difference in the life of children. You were district magistrate in Varanasi or Bhadohi in UP, where lots of carpet industries and maximum child labor working there. You along with your SP, I'm giving you a situation, you along with your SP raided there, got lots of child labor, and thereafter you took the owner into custody. That owner was laughing over you. He said, you can't get me prosecuted. Now you tell me, children will not give you statement that they had been working there because they will lose their job. They would say they had been playing there. Employer, of course, not give you. How will you get the person prosecuted in court? This is a very basic problem in addressing child labor. Do you have, because you are so much concerned about children, so I want to know from you, how can you get the person prosecuted in court?
Sir, I would try to rely on the circumstantial evidence there. Like since they are using child labor, so they are paid less. So I would try to get the evidence from their balance sheets.
They won't like write, you are so smart, IIT you are. I wonder, they will maintain Tunnu, 100 rupees, Chunnu, 5 rupees. Will they maintain that kind of record?
No, sir. But then I think that the amount of goods that they are producing and the amount of labor which they are getting paid on their balance sheets, that would have a significant discrepancy.
Dear Aditya, you are from UP, you know they are seasoned people. They put lots of fake name there. They use child labor and make payment against the fake labor. That is known to open secret it is. You think over it. It's a very important challenge. Last question I would like to ask you, Aditya. Your name is very tempting. Who decided this name? Mama or Papa?
My father decided.
Great. Great. Salute to your father. Very nice. And you are like that, Aditya. Fine. So one thing, you are power engineer. Again, I am giving you one situation. You may have seen in UP especially, UP, Bihar known for power theft. And especially police wala. If you visit police colony in Lucknow, katia, you understand? Familiar word. Now your SP is with you. The USP asks you, sir, mat jaiye wahan par. Sab police wale ka katia hai. And they are the people with us. Now, how will you remove their katia? Police wala will strongly oppose कि sir ऐसा मत कीजिए. How will you tackle the situation?
Sir, initially I would try to convince them by telling them that this is something which is illegal and also it is leading to a lot of losses. If they don't listen, then I would have to use the power to forcefully remove them and also coordinate with the department and cut their connections, whatever possibility they are having. Secondly, I would also try to get the wires.
Very nice hearing you, Aditya. You do some homework over it. Because you will take out, in evening we will put again. You may have seen in UP.
Yes, sir. So in that case, we can change the wires in that particular area and increase the insulation on those wires so that the katia does not work on those wires. Thank you, sir.
You are the first person I have met who is so much interested in dinosaurs.
Yes, sir.
What is the reason?
So actually, it began very early. So when I was in KG, I watched the movie called Godzilla, and I mistook the animal for a dinosaur.
It was not a dinosaur.
No, sir. So after that, I started watching the Jurassic Park entire series, and then I realized the differences, and I gained more and more interest into that field.
But why you were not interested in Godzilla?
Sir, it was not like I was not interested, but later on I learned that it was not a dinosaur, and it was just.
So that leads me to my original question: why dinosaurs? Why so much infatuation for dinosaurs?
So, sir, as the initial thing was that I was drawn towards their magnificence as a child, and later on, as I started to study more, I realized that there are too much things to learn from dinosaurs. And
what are the things where we emulate the dinosaur?
So, there are two important things that I see. Firstly, in the modern era of climate change, we can take learnings from the Jurassic era when the carbon dioxide levels were much higher than even they are today. So that would tell us what we can expect in the future about how the
No, but how it is related to dinosaur? If the carbon dioxide level is very high,
yes, sir.
Then how the dinosaur was surviving?
So actually, with the increasing carbon dioxide levels, also there was increased oxygen levels also at that time. So that favored higher photosynthesis and larger body size.
And what were the reason for high CO2 and high O2?
Sir, the CO2 levels were higher traditionally as well, because before that, huge volcanic eruptions had happened at the boundary of the Triassic.
If the volcanic eruption is happening, then it will be nitrous oxide and sulfur, not carbon dioxide or oxygen.
Yes, sir. And apart from that, there was no ice also, so there was no
Anyway, forget whatsoever it was there. What is left behind of those times? Which are the plants or animals we can still see in the modern world?
So alligators and crocodiles are something that are remaining from that time, and the birds are said to be the lineage of dinosaurs. Sorry? So the chicken is said to be the closely related to the raptors.
Chicken is not a bird. You know that. What is the difference between a bird and a pheasant?
Sorry, sir, I'll have to read about that.
Have you thought about a word called living fossil? What does it mean?
Sir, this kind of terms are used with animals who
Not
have
animals,
not
plants
changed.
also. Plants also.
Yes, sir. Who have not changed very much in the duration of evolution, like for millions of years.
Can you give me 2-3 examples?
So crocodiles are something which have maintained their physiology very similar to what they were. They've just shrunk in size. So that is something. So others I'll have to see, like there are few pythons which have remained similar for around 55 million years, but not as old as the dinosaurs.
Our good old cockroach is one of those examples.
Yes.
It has not changed. And it has survived. What can be the reason for this survival instinct?
Sir, the major reasons lie in how efficient they are in adapting to the changes, like what kind of diversity they have in their diets, etc. And secondly, cockroaches are special because they are immune to nuclear issues. The radiations do not penetrate their bodies, that I had read. So these might be the two major reasons.
And they do not leave much oxygen also. You can find him in the most darkest nook and corner.
Yes.
What is the use of fossil? Have we used any fossil? Recently there was a big fossil in the news. Any idea?
So recently we had discovered around 256 fossilized eggs of Titanosaur in Narmada.
Fossil which is being used in some of our daily business.
Sorry sir, I'm not sure of.
Everybody knew about UP only. It was brought ceremoniously from Nepal to UP.
I'm sorry sir, I'll have to read about that.
It was a Shaligram Shila for Ayodhya. It is an ammonite. It is a fossil.
Aditya,
Yes.
Your father was working as audit officer.
Yes sir.
You were working as Goldman Sachs. So what was your role?
Data analyst was the title.
Data analyst. Okay. Suppose you must be knowing about the auditing skills. You have the auditing skills. You know the financial statements are audited in 4 different ways.
Yes.
There can be 4 kinds of certificates. What are those certifications? If you don't know, no issue.
I heard of proprietary audit, and also I'm not able to recall the name, but one is that whether all rules regulations have been followed or not.
That is financial audit, compliance audit. Okay, let us talk about Goldman Sachs financial reliability. How do we ensure that Goldman Sachs profitability is properly estimated or properly calculated, it is proper for an investor to invest? How do we say?
So investors generally look at the balance sheet and how the cash flows have been going on for a bit of time. Secondly, they also look at the CCAR DFAST reports, which are the stress test reports of the Fed. Like Fed conducts those tests and Goldman Sachs has to submit those reports. Apart from that, on the profitability angle, they also look at how it has been doing for the past few years about profitability, whether the margins are good or not. So these are the things they generally look at.
Government of India, somebody is looking at how Government of India's finance is done.
Yes, sir.
Properly done as per the Parliament's regulations. Is there any deviation? Who is doing that?
So that is currently done by the Honorable CAG and then it is verified by the PSE.
Verified by PSE or PSE is assisted by CAG?
Sorry sir, yes. PSE is assisted by the CAG in that matter.
Why PSE is taking CAG's reports on these things, government's expenditure or receipt? Why PSE is taking interest in CAG's report?
So there are 2 basic reasons. So firstly, that is the mandate of the PSE to ensure that the finances are handled correctly by the government.
Why Parliament is so interested in that finance is handled according to why it is Parliament is interested?
Yes, sir.
Parliamentary committees.
Yes, sir. So that would have been the second reason, that the Parliament is entrusted with the responsibility of ensuring the accountability of the executive. And one of the ways is to ensure the financial accountability. So the Parliament is assisted by the parliamentary committees.
Who gave the funds to the government? Who gave the sanction to the government to spend?
Yes, sir. So that was the Lok Sabha, which passes the budget as well as all the finance bills.
So Parliament should see that.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, last question. You are a relationship expert. And a couple,
I have interest in that, yes, sir.
yeah, a couple comes to you. These 2 lady and a man, husband and wife, are fighting and almost on the verge of divorce, verge of collapse of their marriage. And you are the neighbor and you have been approached. How do you advise them to get out of their messed up relationship?
So first I would try to know what were the basic differences without trying to breach their privacy. And first line of argument would be around the basic reasons, like if they are not large enough, then they should be resolved at first. Second line of argument would be around the impacts that these kind of things have on the children. For example, in USA it has been shown that 2-parent households and single-parent households tend to have an 18% difference in learning outcomes of children. So that would be my second line of argument. And I would basically try to sit on a table and help the dialogue between the two.
How do you make them comfortable? They are fighting like cat and dog. How do you make them comfortable to listen to you?
Sir, I would try to get them comfortable by, let us say, making, for the initial period, I can make them sit in at a distance or in different rooms, try to talk to them about general life, like what is called small talk. So that I think should be able to calm them down a bit.
Why have you got the interest in this kind of relationship business?
Sir,
Any affair or anything made you interested?
Sir, it was general interest gained by observation. So in modern times, you are seeing that.
Have you solved anyone's problem by your relationship?
Yes, sir.
Counseling?
There is a close friend of mine who actually came to discuss something. Like it came out of general talk only, and I was able to give certain, I would say, hypothesis, and that worked in his favor to reduce the kind of tensions. So I think that worked.
Okay. Ma'am will ask.
Thank you, sir.
In 2015, Lucknow was declared the first CCTV city of the country.
Yes,
Are you aware of it?
Yes.
Okay. They'd installed about now 9,000 odd cameras and became the first. Can you just list any three architectural wonders of Lucknow?
One is the Bada Imambada. So that has a very unique architecture and also a very unique story behind it. Second would be the Rumi Darwaza, which is said to be based on a link to the Constantinople of Byzantine. And thirdly, I would say the British Residency, although its architecture is not like comparable to the any wonder, but still it has a very great story behind it as related to the 1857 war.
But the Charbagh station is really renowned as one of the best stations, and it looks like a chessboard. So that I recall from my posting. So it was really, really well known then. Yes. Now you tell me, in 2022 October, I think, BCCI, that's Board of Cricket Control of India, they announced a very unique policy. Are you aware? Do you recall?
I'm not able to recall the timeline, but they announced that equal pay would be given to the male and the female cricketers.
And it was claimed.
Yes.
Do you know what is the gender pay parity in India? They made a very startling policy, and that's how women cricket has shot up after that.
Yes, ma'am.
And we are winning. So what? Okay, gender pay parity in India is about 73%. 73%. What does it mean?
This means that if we look at a broader average, then if a man is earning 1 rupees, then the woman would earn around 73 rupees.
For the same work.
Yes.
With equal,
73 paisa, sorry.
Yes,
Yes,
with
ma'am.
equal effort,
Yes,
they will still get. So what do you think should be done to enhance this pay parity for women? Just a legislation would do?
No, ma'am. I think it would need changes at the societal level as well as at the psychological level.
Which state is the worst in gender pay parity? Recently, the newspaper covered the gender pay parity issue.
Sir, I did not read that particular article, but generally UP and Bihar tend to have the worst.
Kerala is the worst. Why so? It is surprising. Kerala is the worst. Why so? UP and Bihar is not the worst. Kerala is the worst.
Sir,
UP and Bihar, women are labor. And labor generally get a pay parity. Although Kerala, I think there is more education. So
I'll have to read about it.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.